Another one question I get asked often is the question of how do I get started as a business analyst? And people asking these questions often fall into one of two broad categories. The one category are people who are just finishing high school or their college degrees, and they're trying to find their way around the world of work, and they are interested in business analysis. The other group usually includes people with some work experience, and in some instances, people who have performed business analysis adjacent functions and are somewhat interested in business analysis. For fresh graduates and early stage professionals, my general guidance is that learn as much as you possibly can about business analysis. Who are business analysts? What do they do from time to time? What are their roles and responsibilities? What are the tools they work with? What are the expected output of their work? Who do they work for and where do they work? And once you are firm in your conviction that you really want to scratch the business analysis itch, the best place to start perhaps is the entry-level credential offered by the International Institute of Business Analysis. This credential is the Entry Certificate in Business Analysis, ECBA. The ECBA certification has got the leanest eligibility requirement. Compared to other certifications on offer by the IIBA, the ECBA tests your foundational knowledge of business analysis and doesn't as much as test your ability to apply. For those with 2 or more years of experience, the story could be slightly different in the sense that your current work experience might count as experience towards a business analysis credential. I would break that down. If currently you are working in a delivery environment and you are already supporting business analysts and others who participate in the delivery endeavor for a significant amount of time, you have been responsible for performing roles that loosely or directly relate with some of the knowledge areas of the business analysis body of knowledge, then you may not necessarily have to start at the bottom of the ladder. What you should do rather is to compare your previous experience with the expectations of the IIBA for the intermediate business analyst and see how well that experience overlaps with IIBA's expectation. You should do this under the guidance of an established business analyst so that you can avoid overcompensating or undercompensating for parts of your experience. Once you've completed this exercise, you would have one of two possible outcomes. One outcome is that your previous experience aligns well with IIBA's expectation for business analysts. Or, on the contrary, you can find that your previous experience does not align well with IIBA's expectations. So what should you do in either of these scenarios? In the case of the first scenario, where your previous experience aligns well or adequately with IIBA's expectation, then you should consider the intermediate level credential of the IIBA, the Certificate of Competency in Business Analysis. This credential has got strict eligibility requirements you must meet. And should you find that you don't meet this eligibility criteria, then you might as well consider the Entry Certificate in Business Analysis, the ECBA. And for those in the second scenario who find that their previous experience does not at all align with IIBA's expectations of business analysts, then your best bet is to consider the Entry Certificate in Business Analysis. Now that we've gotten certifications out of the way, a second thing that would be business analysts need to do is to seek out business analysis communities and join one or two of these communities. And there are several ways to get started here. The first, and perhaps the easiest, is to find out if the business analysts that are working for your current employer organizes themselves into communities. If they do, find out more about the community or communities and approach them to join this community. Being a member of business analysis communities have got a lot of advantages. 1, you get to meet practicing business analysts. 2, you get to network with practicing business analysts. 3, you get some of your questions answered by experienced and knowledgeable business analysts. And 4, you get to learn about opportunities. These communities organize regular meetups, either in person or virtual or hybrid, where various issues are discussed. In addition to learning from these communities, you also stand to benefit from networking with individual members of these communities who might be willing to mentor you or who might be willing to discuss your interests further and provide some guidance. So one benefit of seeking out and joining communities organized within the same company as you work is that when it comes time to move, there might be opportunities to move within the same company. One final action I recommend for would-be business analysts is that once they are comfortable that they are ready for the plunge, they are ready to swim in the same pool as business analysts, then they need to start signaling. There are many ways to signal. One is to update your LinkedIn profile and find a way to creatively but clearly communicate your interest in finding a business analysis role. Even better if you can include your recent volunteer experience or experiences, as well as the fact that you are recently certified. 2 is to update your resume along the same lines as the guidance I provided for updating your LinkedIn profile. And 3 is to seek out hiring managers and senior business analysts in places you would like to work and reach out to them to let them know about you and your readiness and interest to get into business analysis. And perform these actions again and again and again until the stars align in your favor and you land your dream business analysis role. That will be all for now. In future videos, I will do a deep dive into each of the business analysis certifications, the ECBA, the CCBA, and the CBAP. And I hope you find those useful in your journey to becoming a business analyst. If you have found this short video informative, may I ask that you please subscribe to the channel and jiggle the notification bell. This helps us convince the YouTube algorithm that we are a serious channel with some informative and beneficial content that a lot of people out there would find useful. And the algorithm in turn will show our content to more and more people. Thank you, and see you around.